Autodesk Inventor, working with assemblies. We have a drawing here, parts list, an expanded view, kind of like the other videos I've done on assemblies. All we're going to focus on is putting this assembly together. So we're going to go over there and get to work on this. And click on New, Standard Assembly. I have to go to the base, and I'm going to grab my bracket base, main plate. There we go. That's the one goes right in the middle. Click on Open, and I'm going to go to the home here, put it in place, and there we go. Right clicking and get on telling it I don't want any more of those. Now, on the last video for assemblies, I told you to ground this, right? This gets more and more important. The more pieces and parts you get in there, the more it's going to be critical that you go in and ground this part. So I right click on it, tell it to ground. So that's going to hold that piece in place. Now I've got some plates and gussets and stuff that go in here, so let's go ahead and grab some of those horizontal plates. Here's the horizontal plates. Click Open. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 on that. I could arrange them any different way I want. I just need to get them put in there. I need to get this onto here. Now remember, on when we start doing assemblies, we've got to align the X, Y, and Z planes. On a round part, the center of it, that gives us 2 of those 3, and then we just have to do the third one. On this one, we have to do all 3 of them individually. So when we start putting the pieces together, it gives us the option for solutions of being able to mate the surfaces together. When we mate the surfaces together, that's putting 2 faces flush with each, or face to face with each other. The other option is putting them flush to each other. They're even with each other, but the faces are not touching. Here, faces are touching. Here, faces are flush or equal with each other. So I stay in this constraint of mate. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting some stuff mated up here. I'm going to say I want to go to this surface, and it gets really tough to get these surfaces to come on and light up. So I'm going to hit that one there. That red on red doesn't really show up very well. I'm going to tell it to go to my previous view, and you can see it'll line the piece up. What you have to do when you're doing this is know that as you're going about doing this, it doesn't look right at the beginning. Just go with it. You need to line up 3 planes. Just start doing it, and it's going to get into position. I got them so that I've got face to face there. I'm going to tell it to apply that. My next thing is I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm going to tell it to get flush with this edge to this edge. I'm going to back up so you can see it's starting to look correct, right? And I click OK, apply that one. Then the next one, because I don't know where it's at here, it all looks good, right? But we need to know for sure. I've got to say from this to here, it flushed those up, but I actually need it to go down a little bit, and looking at my notes, that's supposed to be 3 inches down. Went the wrong direction. I typed in 3, it went up. I want it to come down. I hit the home button, and I just tell it to go negative the other direction. So there we go. We've got that in there so that it's 3 inches down. I click apply on that one. I'm going to do a mate on this one, so I go here and then zoom in on my part. Go, let's take that one, go previous view, show that it's coming together. I go OK, tell it to go flush. I'm going to zoom in on this, go take this piece here and make it flush with this piece here, apply that. I'm going to turn it onto the bottom side here, and I'm going to say this side to here, right? And then I want to go 3 inches. And that time it went to 3 inches the direction I want. I go OK. Now I go and get my view back to normal. I come around the corner here. I tell it that I want to go and mate again here with this surface. 2. whoops, got my zoom, window zoom going here. Window zoom, I think I got window zoom this time. There we go. And go to that surface there, go to previous view. That's starting to line up. I tell it to apply that. The nice thing here is, since this is already matched up, I can do these a little bit faster. Get in there and apply these. And I can tell it to take this surface made up, and apply. Go back out and come around back into this view. Tell it to mate these surfaces. And because these parts, it really doesn't matter which side of the plate is mated up there and face to face. Doesn't matter if something is critical, then you would obviously want to make sure you grab the right face. Okay, going to go flush with these parts. Actually tell it to go this way, and I don't need my zoom command. Go in here and tell it to make this part flush. Apply that, and then zoom in here a little bit and go flush here to flush here. Apply, moving right along. We've got those horizontal pieces in. Now I've got to go and get the gussets. So place the gussets in. There's my gussets. I open those up. I've got 4 of those on the top here. I've got over here, and I've got some for on the bottom. Go OK. I'm going to go ahead and put one of those in on one side, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, so I go into constraints, tell it to flush. I go here. Going to come around with my view cube and then a window zoom to get in here, so I can go get that piece on there. Go a previous zoom. It's starting to line up, and then I go apply that, zoom in here, and tell it to go so that this is flush with this. And if you look, you can see that there's a problem with the material. It's actually inside of the other piece. And then I go flush again on this, and I go, I need this surface too. I got to rotate around here, and then I'm going to zoom in on this. There we go. And go and say, I need that surface. Apply that. It doesn't like it. So I'm going to go back here, and the easiest thing to do is I'm going to undo it. You're going to have these problems too. There's going to be times that it just doesn't want to go the way you want. I'm going to put that bottom piece in first, see if that helps us out. Constrain. I'm going to go, let's match up this surface to the bottom of that gusset. Go to a previous zoom and go, yeah, that's probably going to help us out there a little bit. Then I go, I'm going to do another mate on that one, right? Come around here. And I might have been on flush before. That's probably why I had trouble with it. Should have looked at that closer. Go back. There we go. Apply. Then I go previous zoom. I can go and put all my pieces on there. And I don't think I need to continue on with the video watching that. And then if I want to put that other plate on the side plate, go OK. 2 of those side plates. Click OK. Tell it that I'm going to mate with that first. I'll go get the mating surfaces. This should mate up to this surface. Tell it to apply that. This should be flush here to this. And then go flush. Apply that. Go, I want to get this flush with the top up here. Right there. Go apply. Without even looking at it, I applied that. There we go. So you can see, just one step at a time. The more parts and pieces there are, the more assembly work there is. I can also bring assemblies in. I can have an assembly. I can bring an assembly into an assembly. So I could pre-assemble these gussets onto these plates. and maybe speed that up, because then I'd only have to do it one time. So there is doing some assemblies.